Welcome back to would you flip my little flipper there? Welcome back to Sunrise Live on a, there we go, on a Thursday morning. We are so glad that today turned out to be Theater Day on Sunrise Live. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And I noticed that these guys don't get all mad and jealous of each other because they were talking about two completely different theaters, but you know what? Local theater people love local theater.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And Martha has invited a good friend. Tell me about your friend here today who's with us this morning at the 9 o'clock hour.
Bob Kilpatrick?
Your brand new friend.
It is my new friend. I've known of him and
Bob
he's known of me,
Kilpatrick.
but we've never met until just now. He's directing And Then There Were None, which
And
also
then-
opens Friday, September 30th at the Ashtabula Arts Center,
Ashtabula.
7:30 p.m.
At the 13th Street
At
Theater.
13th
13,
Street
I like that.
The
13th
new
Street
name.
That's a cool way to call
13th
that.
Street
Is
Theater.
that what they're calling it? Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah, they
that.
just
Yeah, they
rechristened
just redid it.
You learn something brand new every day. You learn something on this show.
That was another announcement they made at the gala.
13th Street Theater. I like that.
It used to be
I
GB
do too.
Theater. Nobody
Yes.
knew what GB was.
Community
Named
theater.
after, well, no, GB, yeah. They were named after a couple of the guys who
I know
were
what it
there.
is.
Founded it.
It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey.
George Bailey.
Well,
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
The richest
movie.
man in
that's
town.
not really
Yeah.
what it was,
Yeah.
but anyway.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
So they renamed it.
But they renamed it because they got a renovation. They all new seats, all new carpeting, a new paint job. It's beautiful.
Megan
Oh, the
was-
new curtains, yes.
Megan was on with me maybe 2 weeks ago when you were here. It was when you were here, and she she's usually reserved. I think she's kind of a reserved person.
She's quiet.
I saw her excited on the
She was
program
Oh, yeah.
quiet that
about
day.
all this. She was very talkative to say, but that's the Megan I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Because this is exciting news for Ashtabula Arts Center. By the way, a good friend of mine, and probably most of yours here in town, is here in the studio filming our interview today. Come on over here for a minute, Bob. Bob, let's
You're the next.
Welcome to Johnny
Morning, Bob.
Carson. Hi, Bob.
Hello.
There he is.
Am I here? Yes.
You've been in this seat many, many times.
I have.
You've been behind the camera, which you are today, many, many times, and you love Ashtabula Arts Center. While you're standing here, before I get with these guys, what's your connection with Ashtabula Arts Center? Because you do many stories on that.
Well, my son is the board president of the
Okay.
Art Center, and one day he says, "Hey, Dad, why don't you shoot some videos of the Art Center?"
It's a perfect
So,
imitation.
And Bob was
so there I was. So I shoot a lot of videos, and on very rare occasions I end up in a production. So I'm in this one.
So you've been in, I didn't even know that. You've been
I was
productions.
I was a Nazi in The Sound of Music.
That's fitting. So thank you for filming this interview today. We're glad to have you
Everybody
here.
come see it.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Thank you, Bob.
Uh-huh.
Get you back behind the camera over there. All right, now I've got
to talk to you about
Bob and Bob.
Get Bob and Bob. We've been doing that, yeah. Or Robert and Robert. Depends on if you're going to be formal.
There you go.
Right?
And now, do you love the Stones as much as he does?
No, I do not. No, I do not.
But he does have a Stones T-shirt.
I do. I wore it on his birthday, which was just recent. No, I'm actually a
You finally
Beatle fan.
turned 70. Nice job, Bob.
I did not turn 70.
So he's a Stones fan, and I'm a Beatle fan. So I used to wear all my Beatles stuff, but he's got. I don't think he has any other clothes.
Then I got to ask you.
I don't think so either.
I got to ask Bob here a
I
question
don't
then.
think so.
Did you watch the interview, Get Back, that 9-hour interview with the Beatles in 3 sections on Hulu or whatever it's on? You're a Beatles fan.
Well, you're talking about
Where they had the film from when they were getting together, making
Sure,
music. Oh, my
sure.
word. Some of the stuff I learned in there was unbelievable.
You know what? The most fascinating thing, and I know we're here to talk about, and then there were none.
Yeah.
But just watching McCartney play with his guitar and all of a sudden start to write Get Back.
Exactly.
And you just see it over a course of about 10 minutes. That's how long it was.
Musical genius.
He was,
Yeah.
yes, he
And
is.
John,
He
too.
is.
I mean, they're
Well, I
musical
think they're all
geniuses.
genius except Ringo. Ringo is not a genius. He is just the luckiest man in show business.
Think about it, because he wasn't the original.
No, he wasn't.
So anyway,
The unluckiest man in
we
show
got to get off music, but
Yeah.
you're good. That's a great. Beatles are a great choice. Rolling Stones act.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Get off of my cloud.
Yeah, don't have.
All right.
Yeah, I can unplug this at any second.
Anytime. And then there were none. Now this is not a new play. It's
It
been
is
around
not
a
a
while.
new play. This
What,
is
how did
a-
you become the director of this, and how did it all happen?
Oh my God, we're going to start like 50 years ago.
Oh, really? To me, for this play?
For this play, maybe not 50 years, maybe about 40 6 years.
What was the story?
The story is I was in high school, and this was one of the plays that I was in and made me want to be an actor.
Really?
Oh yes, I love this play. I played the murderer in this play.
You got to be the one who goes
I got
to
to be the bad guy. So I've always loved this play, and I've seen the movie. It's interesting. In 1939, the play was written. So you've got the book. It was based off of,
So
obviously
it's
written before that.
pre-war times for us in America.
Yeah, but the war's not mentioned. Well, the World War I is mentioned, right?
Okay.
Bob,
Yes.
'cause,
Yeah.
Bob plays a character.
You're
General
not a Nazi this
Mackenzie.
time.
Not a Nazi,
No.
not a Nazi. He's a British officer,
Okay.
and his experience as a British officer was in World War
One.
I.
Okay. Which in the 30s would have ended almost 20 years
20 years prior.
Okay, okay.
So he's a very, very old, decrepit man. So Bob is basically playing himself.
See? You had to show up today, didn't you, Bob?
He had to. Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about a play that's not newer, but it's a classic. Who wrote this to begin with?
Well, the most famous name in mysteries, Agatha Christie.
All right.
Death on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express. She invented Miss Marple, Hercule Poirot.
I got to ask you, what do
Yeah.
you think of the new renditions by Braniff, or whatever his name is, making the movie?
Branagh, yeah, Kenneth Branagh. Branagh, thanks.
What do you think of him redoing these?
Do it. Do it. We're redoing it. Everybody should redo it. These are
need to
classics.
see these classics, and I think he's a great director and actor anyway.
Yes, he is.
We just need to see these things because I don't think the young people see some of these older performances.
Right, and I think it's probably ripe to do. And then there were none because it's a black and white film, and kids
Yeah.
they just don't like black and white.
Black and white.
Black and white. I mean,
Why don't they like it?
Martha.
come on.
Well, I know, but it
It's
creates
the
a
same
certain
reason they don't
atmosphere.
dance the waltz when they go to their dances.
All right,
I
got excited about Lakeside's performance Tuesday with the big organ being played on the Safety Last movie that they showed, and they had a part of the day where the organist did stuff for kids.
Right.
A lot of them, first of all, didn't ever hear an organ like that before in their lives,
Right.
and and it's cool that they got to do it at school. But that movie probably would not be their first choice of watching silent black and white movies, but they're timeless.
Yeah.
Buster Keaton,
Oh, yeah.
Harold Lloyd.
Yeah.
Although, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I know Bob loves those kind of
Yeah.
movies too.
Bob was in some of those movies.
Is he the guy who had the house come over
Yes,
the window?
yes,
Okay.
the window, and hanging from that flag.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you,
We
Bob.
took Henry to see Safety Last at Lakeside.
Did you see it?
Not this time, but
Oh,
another time.
yeah.
He was about 4 years old, and when Harold Lloyd's about to fall off the building at the end, Henry, he's 4 years old. He says, "Oh my!"
Well, he was always a little bit ahead of his age there, little Henry. He was here doing news one day with you, I
Yeah.
think, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Or Marcus, one of them was.
he was
Henry.
he was here before he went to kindergarten.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So this show, and then there were none.
Yeah,
You were
that's
in
what we're
it.
talking about. Right.
You were the killer.
I was the killer.
And then what brought it to the stage at Ashtabula, and how did you get involved?
Well, I've been, I usually direct comedies for.
Such as, like, what have you done?
What have I done? Well, The Odd Couple.
Okay,
I did a
good
couple
one.
of years ago to great success. I did a black comedy last year, which was called Smell of the Kill.
I don't know that one.
Three
Really? So
women.
what is that?
I
Okay.
saw that. Yeah.
You
No,
see
yeah,
us.
tell me. Oh, that's
Yeah,
the three.
I
I read about it, but I
yeah.
didn't see it.
Yeah.
But this is where their husbands get locked in a meat
As a
locker.
matter of fact, you did a film on that, didn't you? A little
Yeah.
video.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I saw.
They
Yeah.
have to decide whether or not they're going to let their husbands out.
Okay. Smell of the kill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you like dark comedy? That's
I
kinda
love
weird.
dark comedy. Always. I mean, I love comedy.
Yeah.
Funny is funny. If you're gonna laugh at people dying, you got a funny bone, man. You know what I mean? You've got a sense of humor if you can find that.
Do you know
in,
what
in
they say?
that sort of tragedy.
When they talk about people like first responders, policemen, detectives who
Right.
see things none of us really want to see.
Right.
When you read books about the real folks who do that job, they can't do it in front of the family. They have to joke about some of the things they've seen because
Sure.
there's no way to let that out.
Sure.
Yeah.
They joke about terrible stuff because there's no other way. They'd be sick all the time.
Right, you
So
would
dark
think, right?
comedy can be a funny thing.
Yeah.
And you're right. Funny is, I think Seinfeld says that. Funny is funny. The age and time frame doesn't matter because it always fits. Why?
Well, you're talking about Harold Lloyd.
Why do we laugh at him hanging off the clock? Because it's hilarious.
Right.
Is he going to make it or not? And we know it, whatever, but
right. If it were us hanging from the building, we wouldn't be laughing as much.
Why do we have to reinvent comedy all the time? Here's my question, and maybe you like dirty comedy, maybe you don't. I think you can do comedy, and I mean be successful, in my opinion, without all the filth. I'm not saying I don't enjoy a good joke. I do. I mean, you got your Chris Rocks, you've got your, all of them out there. You've got your Bill Burrs, you've got your, and they use some language. Then there's ones that don't. But you did say funny is funny. You can do it if it's crafted right.
Sure.
Without it.
Right.
What's your feeling in the modern age about language and
comedy?
comedy?
I am probably the most vulgar person you would like to meet. But I was brought up. I went to parochial school, so
I did too.
the nuns taught me.
Were you rulered all the time?
They would, yes. They used to use me as a sparring partner. You know, when there was a big match coming up, they'd take me out. But you have to learn how to speak in front of nuns.
Look at it this way: you helped them make sure their faith was real.
Oh,
you tested their faith on a daily basis.
Oh my God, I did. Yes. But you have to learn how to speak in front of nuns.
Yeah.
And so you can turn it off or you can turn it on.
Yeah.
You know, but as it is, funny is funny. If you use if an F-bomb gets thrown and it's funny, then there's gratuitous.
See, maybe that's the word I mean when it's unnecessary and thrown in because that's how I want to talk.
Right.
But a word fitly spoken fits a joke sometimes.
Absolutely.
There's no other word that'll work.
Absolutely.
If that's like saying the crafting of the joke is what's important.
Right.
All right, and then there were none. Old school play.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about.
How do we get audiences out to see this other than they want to see a classic that maybe they've seen before? Have you changed, revamped, updated anything, or is it strictly in the book? How do you do it?
We were talking about that earlier.
Off air.
But I didn't change the play.
Okay.
I mean, you can't.
Right.
It's so well crafted.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Some of the stage directions, I always tell my actors, don't look at the stage directions. I'll tell you what I want you to do.
Okay.
No, we did not change it. I think that you see a play like this. I'm not going to say it's Shakespearean, but most people can't understand Shakespeare anyway.
Yeah.
This is a play that everybody can understand.
True.
It deals with emotions that we all know and feel. And I'll tell you why a show like this has become a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Agatha Christie realized, and everybody has copied her since, realized that none of us are innocent. Nobody in this world is innocent. We are all guilty of something. Except my grandmother, my saintly grandmother. She was guilty of nothing. And I'm not
saying never do anything
she's
wrong.
not, my grandmother's no longer alive, but just in case, Grandma,
you're a saint.
Don't haunt me.
Yeah.
No, but and that nobody is innocent, so that in this, everyone can be the killer. You don't know because everyone's got homicide in their blood.
Bob, let's face it, there's 4 of us in this room.
Yeah.
We're all showing our show faces right now.
Right.
Our friendly faces to
I haven't said one swear word.
And thank you for that. But we all
I
have,
could, though.
We all have that other mask sometimes that's, I don't know whether to call this the real us or the other one the real us.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Everybody in that play is not just whisper clean.
No.
There's things about them.
Right.
And that's what makes that writing so cool and taut. Now, let me ask you this. At Asheville Arts Center, you're the director.
Yep.
Who is in the process at Asheville Arts Center of who casts a play? Are you the main
I'm
guy?
I'm the guy.
So
I'm
how
the
many
guy.
auditions came out for this? Did you have a lot of people or not?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Did you?
Which is not always the case.
And I'm guessing that would have begun about June, July. When did it all start? I'm trying to think for a play now. When did you start all this?
It was
like 6 weeks ago.
It was yeah.
Was it really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Shortened schedule. Usually
Okay.
I like
Months.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no.
When it got out there, how many people came out and read for you?
I'm gonna say I'm going to say that I had around 25,
And what do you need for the cast?
11.
11. So double, really. Which is
Double what I need, which is, again,
That's
not usually the case. Please come out and audition for shows. Love to see you. You're talented people, you.
So does that make it hard?
So I had to, yes, it makes it hard.
Because in some cases, well, I'll ask, there's 2 director questions. 24 or whatever 5 came out.
Yeah,
You got 11 roles.
right.
Do you keep more than 11 for an in case, or you just stick with the 11 and hope they all stay healthy and well and nothing
You're
happens?
saying, do we have like
Are there understudies?
understudies? We don't have understudies, and boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Right now, I've got to tell you,
Stay healthy.
one of our actors is ill. Right now, he is ill. And I am waiting to hear whether or not he's going to be there for our opening night, and I hope he is.
So
Get
if
better.
He's, if
get
he's
better.
You
not,
got
do you
conditions
step
ready?
in then? Is
Well,
what
that I've been stepping in to rehearsals,
For rehearsals.
but he's described as a very young man.
Oh, hey, makeup can do wonders, Bob. Or you have to shave all
I
that
have to
off.
shave. Yeah, I need this.
So,
But yeah, we're gonna tap another actor.
I've been in shows where people have gotten sick and somebody
I
else
mean,
has
it's
had
life,
to
it
step
happens.
We've had COVID
Yeah.
in our show already. People have been
Okay.
out for
Okay.
a week or 2 weeks for COVID.
Yeah.
So I mean that's just the way it is. But we don't usually have understudies.
okay.
You're blessed if you can do that.
Well, here's another thing. I've never directed a play, but in a couple. When you're getting ready to cast and you're
Yeah.
watching everybody do their reading or whatever
Yeah.
you ask them to do they see themselves knowing the 11 parts as, I think I'm kind of John Smith,
Yeah.
but you're hearing them, even if they're reading somebody else's part,
Yeah.
I see them as Tom Jones. Does that happen a lot?
It's not unusual.
Not unusual. Not unusual.
What's up, pussycat?
No. Obviously, it comes down to what I think.
Okay.
But an actor is going to come in and say, "I'd like to read for the part of John," because I'll just go, "Well, okay,
Read
whatever
for
you
me."
can read. Go ahead and show me John. Show me your best John." And if they do, then I'm gonna say, "Well, okay, I'm gonna really consider you for John then."
But it's
you
the
did a
one
good
you're
job.
looking for is what you're looking
That's
for.
what I'm looking for. It's just like you come in for any kind of a professional job. It's not you to say. It's, I want to play the guy who comes in with the package.
Yeah.
Right? So I can get a line and get paid extra.
Yeah.
The director, if you don't look like the guy he wants for the package, you don't get
It
it.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what you want.
Now, is it hard?
Bob actually asked for the part he got, and that was fine. That was, well, he knew that the man was old and decrepit, and he knew that I was going to see him and say, "Oh, this guy's old and decrepit." No, but it did work out.
Well, let's ask that other side of the coin. There's 13 people, 14 that didn't make the cut. How do you deal with those you have to say no thank you
It's
to?
not that they didn't make, well, to say that they didn't make the cut.
Well,
I
the way
had
you would
excellent
work.
actors.
Okay.
Look, sometimes it's like I've got 2 actors who can do the role. They both can do the role. I can only hire one.
Right.
And I just have to go, well,
Hire.
this guy looks better with the young lady I hired.
Just fit
Yeah.
better.
And he goes, well,
Yeah.
that's it then, because this guy is 7 foot tall and she's 5'2".
It just works.
And they just don't. It doesn't.
Is it hard to say no thank
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Did
Now,
they
did you
take
try
it?
out for shows and not gotten the part?
Yeah, but I wasn't. I knew I wouldn't
Okay,
to
so
start
you don't
with,
know.
so I didn't worry about
I
it.
mean, that's just part of it.
But
It
some
is
people
part of it.
want
Yeah.
to get in these things
They
pretty
do.
badly.
Well,
is my
well, I
point.
hope they want
Yeah.
to get into that. But
So
you have to turn them down. And I'll tell you, I'm the guy. I will make the phone call. I don't allow anybody else to make the phone call. I don't put it on email.
that's
I don't
nice,
forget
that's
about
nice.
it. Well,
So you call them and
I call them. I say, hey, you read wonderfully well, but I can't use
In
you
this play,
time.
this time.
This time, please come out and audition.
Now, do you find with all the shows you've done and been in, do people that get a reject come back and try to do other stuff, or do they go
Absolutely,
away
they
sometimes?
do. Absolutely, Bob.
You're
You
one of
auditioned
those?
for me for The Odd Couple. The first time I ever met you,
Okay.
he auditioned for The Odd Couple. He just wasn't right for the cast I had.
Yeah.
He's not right for this cast either, but I felt so bad.
Bob, between you, it's not right for me.
No, I know that. But
Maybe on my leg.
He's a great guy.
But I've seen him so many times, it's like, oh, I can't see him again
Yeah.
without having hired him. Now, Bob is perfect.
Well,
for
you
the
are
voice.
taking a beating
I
today.
know. I can still be bad.
I'm an actor, so as a director, I don't give actors any leeway whatsoever.
Tell me about, because we talked with our former folks that were in here with the ABOB.
Yeah.
What is it that's so special about theater? Because people aren't getting paid. This is volunteer work.
It's volunteer work.
What does that mean to you as the director about the people you're directing? They're all volunteers like, well, you are too.
No.
What does that mean?
I'm not a volunteer.
You're not a volunteer.
No,
I'm
no.
sorry, I
They
don't
give-
know your deal.
They give me a small stipend.
Let's go with the actors that are coming in.
Okay.
What does that mean to you to have people that are here for no other reason than I want to try this and I love to act?
First of all, I feel an automatic camaraderie with those people because I've been
You've been
in
in
their
shows.
shoes. I've been in their shoes.
Okay.
I don't like to waste their time. Their
Okay.
time is precious because I know how my time is precious.
Okay.
I'm away from my family. I'm away from my kid, and they are the same. But we know that we have this love
Yeah.
of what we're doing. So I especially want to make it fun and a rewarding experience for them, as well as pushing them beyond a limit that they may have been using in their acting career. I like to get more than what they think they're in.
Two
they're in
questions
for.
you're making me think. What
What's
kind of director style would you call yourself? What are you like?
Oh man.
That's
Well,
Bob.
here's what when I ask coaches, and they have coaches and players in here from kind of, I ask the kids what the coach is like, and I first had asked the coach what they think they're like, then the kids tell me what the coach is like.
Yeah.
Are you the staring, dirty look? Are you a yeller? Are you quiet? Are you loud? What kind of direct
Well,
look
I've
do you
changed
do?
over the years. I used to be a yeller, but a nice yeller.
A nice yeller.
Okay, because again, I'm working with my friends, so I feel I can yell
Okay.
at them. But I've said for a few years here, is as I've matured as a director.
Okay.
I wasn't always a great director. Well, I don't know if I'm a great director. I wasn't always a good director.
Okay.
I was an available director. But I like to think of it as an organic exercise between me and the actor and the lighting guy, and we are all trying to build this production.
Yeah.
I have final say on things,
Yeah.
but that's as far as that goes. I don't know everything. I didn't remember everything. I'm counting on the actor to remind me or help me. I'll say, hey, what do you think if we tried something like this? And I want them to go, I think that'll work, or I don't think it will work, and we try it. And I am not one of those guys who says if it doesn't work, I go, all right, we'll just scrap it. It was a bad idea. But we have to come up with fresh ideas. We have to have a group think when we're doing this play. Because once Friday comes, I'm out. So they've got to have as much invested in that show as I do.
What do you as director really do once curtain goes up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday performance? What do you just watch, or you don't? There's nothing you do at that.
Oh no,
time? Do you say anything to anybody on play nights?
Good job. No, I'm there the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm there every night that I
Behind or
can
up
be.
front?
Oh, I try to stay away.
Okay,
I try to stay away. Because traditionally it's the end of my job.
I see.
But I don't feel that way. I've got to make sure that everything's going well. And I sit in the audience and I fret and I see that scene that we had trouble with and it worked this time. You know, and
Yeah.
I'm with them. I'm with them every step of the way, and I hope they know that that's the truth.
That's cool. Now, for you as an acting side, which you've done many, what kind of director pushes you the best? Works with you? What do you like a director to do for you when you're in a performance?
I like them to understand that I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Um,
And how do they
And
show
push
you
me.
that? How do they respect you and that you know what you're doing but want you to change a little bit? What works for you when you act?
when I think the push me.
Will it push you a little
Push
bit?
me. I work with. There's very few directors really
Yeah.
around.
Okay.
There really is. A lot of people don't like this job. They want to act,
Okay.
and I miss acting. I miss being on stage, but I want that collaborative thing. Tell me, let me bring stuff, and then
Okay.
and let me play with that, and listen to me, because like I say, I do know what I'm doing. But I will always default to what my director says.
Okay.
And I've done that. Sometimes I've done it. I had a director tell me the way to play this role, and I kind of fought a little bit because I know everything.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
get
but
it.
I did it their way, and by golly, I got an award that year. And I said, well, I guess you were right.
That's pretty. Yeah.
You know, but I did it, but you were right.
All right, 2-week run.
2-week run.
And then there were none. So we're talking 30th through the 2nd. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What are the times for the shows?
What is it? 7:30 on Friday, Saturday, and I think we have a matinee. Is it 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock.
And then it's 2
2
on the
o'clock.
Sundays, 2
Right.
p.m. Is that both weekends?
Both
repeat?
weekends.
Yep.
So and then
Yep.
that'd be 7 through the 9th.
Right.
Friday be the 7th.
Right.
We're into October already, dude.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't even want to think about
I
it.
know. Where's time going?
We have an audition. We have an audition coming up.
What's going on?
Rumors.
Oh,
Right?
I've heard that
Rumors
name.
by Neil Simon again. That's going to be Steve.
Conant says Steve Rhodes.
Steve Rhodes.
Oh, wow.
And when are the performance dates?
I don't really know about that. In January, I think
Because they
sometimes.
would
But
be
the
after
auditions
Christmas.
are like now.
To get ready for,
So like the 24th. So he's got a nice long rehearsal schedule. I did. But anyway, I'm going to audition for that. Bob's going to audition for that.
You might get you out
Aren't
there.
you? Are you?
One
There's a,
thing
Nazi
with,
There was a
in there.
rumor you were going to.
There's a Nazi in there, so you can play
Yeah,
that
that's-
again.
when I was,
Come on over the
He's
camera.
a great Nazi.
As long as you got your film going.
Ladies and gentlemen, our resident Nazi.
Yeah.
when when auditions come up for stuff, I'm like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it, and I don't. I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it, I don't. But and then there were none. I said someday in my life, and then were none is gonna show up.
You want
And
to?
I don't know if I can not audition, and so all of a sudden, late in the year, this comes up, and then there were none, and I see this
It's
like.
sort of quickly, I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's like the day after they announced the
Okay.
auditions were on stage, it seems like.
Okay.
And so I walk around for 3 days saying, I think maybe I'll audition for
You
this.
don't know
I
what
think
the-
maybe I'll audition for
I
this.
think I can.
And then I find out, I go there, and my son's auditioning,
Oh.
and my daughter-in-law's
Daughter-in-law.
auditioning. I knew my son was a day or so before that. I didn't know my daughter-in-law, Jessica, was. And so then I thought, well, I think there's a state law saying that out of a cast of 11, you
Too
can't
many
have
Lebzelders.
you can't have 3 Lebzelders,
And we've got one in the booth.
right?
Henry is our
Henry.
is our sound man.
How old is
Our
Henry?
sound
How old is
teenager.
13.
Are you kidding?
Yes, he's 13.
Third. I
Yeah.
saw the
And
little guy
he's
here.
He's directing the next show.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But
So you're taking over Asheville
will.
Arts Center, is what
Yeah.
you're telling us, really. The
yes,
Lebzelder
it's the
family.
invasion of it's
Yeah.
like an old science fiction.
It's going to be Studio Z. They're changing it. That 13th Street's not going to work.
So you're in. You made it. You're in. The
Yeah.
What do you
and
think
then-
of this?
It's me getting out of my comfort level a little bit because I always wondered, can I memorize this stuff? And I've heard people, I've heard
used to
about
think
people.
about that,
Well, how
too.
come this guy's never in plays anymore, or whatever? And Derek would say, well, he's having a hard time.
With memorizing.
Memorizing.
Or keeping them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I don't know what I can do, but if I don't, I'm going to have to.
And this may
whatever.
be the shot for, and then there were none. So
Yeah.
you made it.
So-
Good for you, Bob.
Yeah,
And we give him a little trick because the lines are not
Is
It's
he,
easy,
smooth.
and
is he line heavy like in the play? somewhat?
he is scene heavy. I will
Oh,
say
okay,
that. Well, I don't know
scene
if that really is the term, but in his scenes, he speaks a lot.
Okay. When
All
you
right.
are on stage, you're talking a lot.
Right. So
Okay.
we gave him a little something because I knew he was heavy. So I wrote down on a card everything he needed as far as the lines. I gave him the alphabet, and I said, Bob, here.
You just have to rearrange
These, just look at it, rearrange them into your lines.
Rearrange
This
the
is going to
lines.
work for you. And by golly, sometimes he doesn't even pull it out to look at it. He's that good. He's that
I will
good. Happen when you're on stage.
Right.
So I mentioned to you that this play was one of the first plays I did in high school. And does anything ever happen? Well, something always seems to happen. So I also told you I was the murderer, right?
Yes.
So that appears at the end of the show. Obviously, we don't tell
The
you this.
reveal.
Right. So I am at the end of the show, as it's revealed that I was the murderer. Sorry, I smoked some dope right before I came by.
We were
I'm
going
a little
so
cotton
well.
mouth.
We were going so well.
Little cotton mouth.
Go ahead.
No, okay, so I come out and the audience says, "Oh my God, he's the guy!" And I was after this. I guess I could say it. I was going to murder this young lady, in the show.
Yeah.
And there was a chair between she and I.
Okay.
This was like the last performance of the last, well, high school, what you do it the one weekend, right? And I took that chair, it was a upholstered chair, and I threw it out of the way. I'm a big guy, right? So it was easy for me to do it. I was in high school, so, and I threw that chair. And there was a upholstery tack on the chair. And as I threw it, that upholstery tack ripped open my thumb. I mean, just perfectly. You cannot see the scar right now.
Right along your thumb.
Right along my thumb. And the blood went like this. And she screamed, and the audience screamed, and I go, "This is cool!" And she had blood all over her. I had blood all over me.
Part of the show.
I don't know what they thought, but I knew I was bleeding.
Best show ever.
Best show ever. She knew I was bleeding.
Oh man.
Oh God.
We don't kill anyone in the show, actually.
And you survived, so I mean, you're
I
all right.
survived. I said, "Oh my God, do I love
acting."
I love theater.
You know what you made me think of? I'm just going to bring up something because you said that from a movie, Django Unchained.
I was going to bring this.
Do you know that movie?
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio is smashing down on something, and he smashes his hand and literally
Smashes a glass. He
and
smashes
it's literally bloody. And
Yeah.
he kept filming, and
Yeah.
they kept it in the movie because it looked like
Well,
the
because
real
he
thing.
had heard this story about me.
About you. He kept
And he
going.
said, "If that ever happens to me, I'm going to be like Bob."
Now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to see And Then There Were None, just because of the director alone,
Alone.
much less Bob Lebzelder being in the cast,
That's-
those two combos right there.
You
are
should
gonna
leave that
send-
alone, too.
I would send you both weekends. See it twice. Why not?
That would,
Why not? See it twice. Because the second time,
you-
you'll know who done it.
You know who done it.
And you can sit there going, "It's him." It's that guy.
We had a whiskey bottle flying in the air during one of the rehearsals.
Lord.
Oh my gosh.
And Josh and I, he grabbed it and I
Josh
righted it,
McCray.
but it actually had
Is he back
whiskey
in
in
this play
it.
too? I know.
He
Josh.
is.
You're not gonna believe this. I taught him in school when he was a junior higher. I know Josh McCray.
Listen, if
Big
you're
guy.
the guy who taught anything to Josh McCray, I wouldn't be bragging about it on TV.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
He was an okay kid. Then he's much better now. Then
Maybe.
think of junior high. What he was like.
Okay, all right. What class? What did you teach?
7th and 8th. He was in a parochial school where I was teaching,
Right.
so I taught middle school 6th, 7th, and 8th graders most of their major subjects. So we had
Okay.
all. And that was the era of big, huge elephant bell jeans came back
Oh my
in the
God.
90s.
Oh my God.
And he was in my 7th or 8th grade class, and he was one of the ones wearing. He'll tell you about Mr. Kulko if you ask him.
Okay.
And he may
Oh, I will.
He might have good stories or bad ones, but we're friends now, of course. But this is, folks, this is the kind of thing you get in community
This is what
theater.
you get.
It's fun. It's live. You'll know some of the folks. You've seen them in other performances. Are there any brand newbies in this play at all? As far as you know, like their first time in a show?
No.
Or probably not. Okay,
No.
not in this play. You'll know.
No,
these
these are
folks.
all vets. These are all vets.
And-
Bob's probably the.
I'm close.
But I
Bob's
mean,
close.
you know, everybody knows Bob Lebzelder anyway, though. This
Yeah.
is going to be a fun show. Intermission, 2 acts, 3 acts. How many
It
acts?
is 3 acts.
Three
You're going to
acts.
get all your money's worth out of this. 3 acts. This is the old time 3-act play.
Come on,
And
The 2 intermissions.
2 intermissions.
Come out and enjoy the refurbed theater. It's an
Yeah.
actual art. No, I'm sorry, West 13th Theater.
13th Street.
Theater.
13th Street Theater.
Theater.
Think that new name. And it's this weekend, Friday, Saturday in the night at 7:30, Sunday at 2. Next weekend, same thing, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 2. Come on out and enjoy this. This is why we love local theater. It's just stuff
right.
just like this.
It's easy to get to.
Can you imagine this guy in a
Parking.
role on stage, much less directed? This would be fun to watch.
It's hard to imagine.
I can't imagine you sitting for 3 acts, silently just watching what's going on because it's over for you.
Yeah.
Is it hard
it
to
eats,
do?
It
Yeah.
eats away.
I
at
can
me.
imagine.
Yeah.
So come on out and see it. Thank you, Bob, for filming. You'll be able to catch this here on the cable networks and online later on. We'll take a little break. Martha and I are going to come back and wrap up Sunrise Live. Thank you, Bob.
You had something
Thank you.
wanted to say?
I'll see you there.
See you there.
See you
Thank
there.
you. Bye-bye for now.